the same, speaks the same, and thinks the same. It would be a world devoid of individuality and creativity, a world without self-expression. Luckily, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where fashion has become the most powerful tool for self-expression. From the streets of Tokyo to the runways of Paris, fashion has become a universal language that speaks volumes about who we are. I'm sure you've all heard of brands like Bershka, Zara, H&M, Pull & Bear, and Forever 21. These brands have become household favorites as they allow a diverse variety of clothes that allow us to express ourselves in truly imaginative and exceptional manners. It is undeniable that these brands have left an indelible mark on the fashion industry. However, these brands fall under the umbrella of what is known as fast fashion. Fast fashion refers to the practice of creating inexpensive clothing in large quantities rapidly, using low-quality materials and unethical labor practices. And although it may be tempting to buy affordable yet trendy clothing, the true cost of fast fashion is often hidden. Now, in order to explore exactly how fast fashion affects our world, we must first explore how it processes. Fast fashion operates through a highly efficient yet exploitative supply chain. They begin in the designing process, where creators design trendy outfits which are often copied from other designers and send them to be manufactured in countries with low labor costs. Here, people are paid very low wages, and the use of cheap synthetic materials is more than common. Then, these are sent to distribution centers and eventually sold to consumers at very, very low prices. This allows fast fashion brands to constantly release new designs, but it negatively impacts both the workers involved and the environment. One of the primary issues with fast fashion is its significant contribution to waste and pollution. As one of the world's largest polluters, the fashion industry releases a considerable amount of textile waste and greenhouse gas emissions. The production process itself requires an enormous amount of energy, water, and raw materials. For instance, the production of a single cotton t-shirt can require up to 2,700 liters of water. The fast fashion industry also relies on cheap synthetic materials, like polyester and nylon. These are derived from fossil fuels and don't biodegrade for decades or even centuries. The use of such low-quality materials eventually leads to the clothing losing their qualities very quickly. This results in clothes being thrown away after only a couple of wears, and therefore overflowing landfills. This releases toxic chemicals into our land and water. This is a wake-up call for us to prioritize sustainability over trendiness and affordability. The fashion industry also relies on cheap labor in developing countries. Workers are subjected to harsh working conditions and paid meager wages. It is vital that we recognize the human cost of fast fashion and advocate for more fair working conditions in the fashion industry. Now, you must be thinking, why am I talking about fashion when there are so many more pressing issues? Well, as a young adult, fashion is a form of self-expression, one of the only few ones. And it is getting harder and harder to find brands that are sustainable, affordable, yet still aligning with our values. So we must find and create more brands that are socially conscious, ethical, and environmentally friendly. This way, we can express ourselves while also contributing to a healthier world and fairer society. The environmental impact of fast fashion is staggering. And if we continue at this rate, we risk irreversibly harming the Earth for future generations, as highlighted by environmental activists like Greta Thunberg. We must prioritize sustainability, not only to protect ourselves, but the Earth too. The economic impact of fast fashion is also unsustainable. The focus on high turnover and low prices creates a business model that is inherently unstable and vulnerable to disruption. So in order to prevent destabilizing the fashion industry and the wider economy, we must support long-term sustainability over short-term profits. Although some companies have taken steps to address these issues, it isn't enough. We want to see more. We want to see more sustainable sourcing of fibers like organic cotton or other feasible materials that are grown and processed in environmentally friendly manners. We want to see more companies invest in developing technology that reduces the need for mass-produced clothes, like 3D printing. This reduces our demand for the traditional cut-and-sew techniques. As a person who has witnessed the rapid development of technology, I am confident in its potential. We have seen some impressive advancements over the past couple of years, like Apple, and in online worlds like Minecraft. We even have self-driving cars and AI with unlimited knowledge. I mean, just last year, for the first time ever, we successfully transplanted an animal organ into a human being. So if we can do all of that, we can most definitely make fashion more sustainable. So I envision a new future for fashion, a future through AI and the metaverse. In the metaverse, we can actively see a shift towards digital fashion. Here, people are creating and wearing more virtual clothing, which reduces the need for mass-produced clothes. If we continue at this rate, AI can revolutionize the fashion industry with more personalized clothing designs. However, we don't need to solely rely on new technology in order to make a change. We can take steps in our daily lives that can reduce the negative effects of fast fashion. For example, we can start by buying fewer clothing and making them last longer. This reduces our demand for fast fashion and in turn the amount of clothes that end up in landfills. We can also recycle, upcycle, and even donate our clothes instead of just throwing them away. Like in my family, every year we collect our clothes and deposit them in these donation boxes. Reducing the effects caused by fast fashion requires a collective effort from brands, consumers, and policymakers. So let's redefine fashion's narrative. Let's make sustainability and ethical practices the new trend. Let us remember that each garment of clothing has a story, not just of its production, but one of the impact it leaves behind. The time for change is now, and each one of us has a part to play. So wear your values proudly. The fashion revolution starts with you.